Yo, 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 what is going on, YouTube? Thank you for joining us again on a Friday evening. My name is Zion Zenith. I'm here with my co-host, Adam Costas. Mac, he's going to join us when he can. His schedule got a bit busy. So that being said, we are going to start the show. And then, Mac, when you do get home, you can join us. But we're going to throw our first up our homie Jeffy. You know what I'm saying? Always a co-host on this show, and his seat will never be forgotten. That being said, rest in peace, Jeffy. Always watching. The 4th of July, May 4th is tomorrow. But today is May 3rd. I don't know why I said that, but I did. But that being said, though, we have a lot to get to tonight, guys. We recapped the first round of the draft the last time you guys seen this, and a little bit of the playoffs. But on today's episode, we are going to recap the full rounds, all 6 picks, should I say, that the Giants has selected. And then we're going to, obviously we're going to get into the WWE. What's up, Alex? Thank you so much for joining us this evening. A member of the Big Blue crew, Alex, Big Blue in the Bronx. Go check him out. Subscribe to his channel, please. That being said, we are going to get into a little bit of backlash. Probably start the show with that. Touch on the UFC 301. Big weekend coming up in the world of combat sports. And then we're going to get into, obviously, NBA talk. We'll probably run that back. A lot of great stuff that's been going on in the NBA as we have the Cavaliers facing the Magic right now. Close game. We got 78-79, Magic leading by 1. That being said, though, we got Daniel in the house as well. What's up, Daniel? Thank you so much for joining us this evening. A lot to get to, and I guess we're going to start with Backlash. Let's just get that out of the way. Adam, you're a resident WWE hardcore, should I say. I'm a casual myself. I will have to say there is 2 matches that is probably, I'm going to watch Backlash for, and I do love the timing, being that, it is in France, I believe. It is in France. And, it's right before UFC 301, so I get a chance to see it. But before I let you go, Adam, I do want to say thank you guys. My channel has recently just gotten to 500 subs. I really appreciate that, guys, and that's love.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Raphael actually pointed it out on our podcast the other day, and I didn't even notice until he pointed it out. And I just wanted to take this time to say thank you to the people that spend their time subscribing. I know that my work schedule, that's all going to get a whole lot better. I've been inconsistent and half-assed at this YouTube game, but I always try to come for you guys for Premium Take Fridays. And thank you guys so much for, coming. Pause. I'm not gonna say that. For showing up. What's up, no mess? That being said, Adam, what you think about Backlash?
I think it's going to be a decent show. A really good show. There's some interesting matches. I just find it's going to be. It's funny because it's the post Bloodline era, right? It's the post Bloodline era, and we finally get to see a different champion. Let me get the card up for you right now. I haven't seen SmackDown, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Card is kind of set. Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. I'm interested in this. I like Jey Uso's character right now. I think he's doing a very, very good job. He's like the yes movement with Daniel Bryan. At some point, you got to put a title on the guy. He's starting to also have a bit of a beef with Logan Paul. So if he doesn't win the world title, he might go down that direction with Logan Paul and get the title like that. So they can at least put a title on him. The next match we'll talk about, Undisputed Universal Championship match, is Cody Rhodes versus, this list is going from top to bottom, so it doesn't really matter. I'm sure this is not how they're going to play out, but Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. I love both these guys. AJ Styles is one of the guys I followed as he went from Ring of Honor to here, the face that runs the place, in 2016 when he came in. It seems like yesterday he was fighting John Cena. He was fighting Undertaker in the Boneyard match, one of the best cinematic matches I've ever seen in my life. And Cody Rhodes, who earned the WWE Championship belt, he deserved it. He probably should have gotten it last year or 2 years ago. Remember, he tore his shoulder, so this is a journey that he's come full circle. And this is a good launch match for him to defend his title against a guy like AJ Styles. I'm sure this won't be the last time they fight, but they're going to put on a good show. This is why you need a guy like Cody Rhodes. He's going to bring the house down. It's not that, Roman Reigns is a bad champion and that Cody Rhodes is not going to be a good champion. It's when you have a marquee matchup and you're fake, like wrestling is. Like I know wrestling is kayfabe. It's not real, right? I get it. I understand it. but the storytelling is what you're watching for. The artistry of it, the pageantry of it. That's why you're watching it. You're not necessarily sitting there saying, "Hey," I mean, why do you watch a boxing match? Most of it's fighting, right? But what do you got? You got in this corner, and they got the guys hyped up and all the hype.
Exception in the house,
right? You're trying to get the crowd involved in it. So I think this will be a good match. I think Cody Rhodes will win. I think he's going to have I wouldn't say a lengthy title run, but he's going to have a solid title run. Probably it's April now. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a title run till Royal Rumble. The guy I see losing the title early is Damian Priest, but not this match. Women's title, Bayley versus Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi. Bayley's going to win this match, but Tiffany Stratton is an up-and-comer. She's one I'm going to keep my eye on. Not only does she have the look, but she also can wrestle, which is great. Naomi, nice to meet you. You're good, but your time has passed. I think maybe one more title run for her at max, but not now. Bayley, again, Backlash. This is to set up more things right now. I'm sure you're going to get Bayley and Tiffany Stratton at the next tables, ladders, and chairs match, something like that, or Naomi might come in. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think Stratton's going to win right now, but her time is coming. But I'll take Bayley in this match. Tag team Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. These two I love. I am in love with Jade Cargill. I think she reminds me of Storm. She's built for the wrestling ring. Absolute fantastic. Glamazon. Great. Bianca Belair, I kind of like this together because what you're going to do is eventually you're going to break this tag team up. And I think this is where Asuka and the Kabuki Warriors lose their titles to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, because eventually you want those two to clash at some point for some type of title, right? But right now they're pairing them up together. I wouldn't be surprised if they won to put a nice title on Jade Cargill, get her momentum going. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline. This should be a good match. Randy Orton and KO are basically, they have almost the same.
Who the fudge is this guy? I'm sorry. He's new.
His name is. I'm sorry. Let me get his name for you. Tamatonga. Yes, he's coming from. He's coming up from the Bullet Club. Is Tonga? He came over from NXT, AEW. He's part of that.
Gotcha.
That new bloodline, because since Roman Reigns is kind of out of the limelight and his story has kind of ended, you need somebody else to kind of carry the reins, no pun intended, so to speak. And he's that guy that's going to help. Eventually, it's going to break up all three of them because, the bloodline is Solo Sikoa needs to be his own man, right? And build his own legacy.
Absolutely, I agree.
So, I mean, they're going to keep this going for a while because these guys are strong. You want to kind of still keep the bloodline faction going, but I feel like at some point they're gonna fall apart, and these guys are gonna have to figure it out. They're not as strong as they were before, but I think if Randy Orton and KO win here, it'll kind of put them in a position that they, may be in the title picture. But that's Backlash. I don't spend too much more time on it. We'll see if that'll be the main event. We have no idea, but those are my picks. Those are kind of the things that we talk about. Not too much. It's just WWE, right? It's not a major event. It's a pay-per-view. You want to get it some burn because this is a new era. I guarantee it'll be entertaining. That's for sure. Triple H has done a great job in ushering in this new era and kind of listening to his fan base, unlike a certain organization in another industry. But WWE is listening, and they hear, and they need to make a good product because AEW is right there. We haven't had this kind of war since the WCW versus WWF back in the day, Raw versus Nitro. So you really have to pick it up, and this is good. If you're a wrestling fan like me, this is the best time to be in it right now. We thought we hit our peak with the Attitude Era, but this era, whatever this era is going to be called, the trend. I don't know. They're calling
it the Triple H era at the moment, and
right. So we'll call it the Triple H era, which is kind of like the extension of the Attitude Era. So you're going to kind of see his influence, and then I guarantee you guys like you, Zion, are going to start to get a little bit more intrigued by it because.
Well, I was just about to say I am a little bit a little bit more intrigued, being that this was for a long time. I mean, like
Upsetting.
I remember watching WWE when it was the ruthless aggression era with
John
babyface John
Cena.
Cena and
Right.
the WrestleManias he had back with JBL and them boys. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like
Right.
WrestleMania has been a lackluster. And then this year, I had the most fun watching WrestleMania in a really long time. And yes, I'm happy to say that Triple H has kind of revived that company. And I don't want to get into anything deep here. Vince McMahon is out of the picture, and it is Triple H's
Best thing that
brand
could have
right
happened
now.
for the business for that company.
Absolutely. TKO is literally as high as it ever been in market cap. This is not a stocks channel, but that being said, with the WWE and the UFC being at the biggest it's ever been, the time is now to capitalize on it. Me and Raphael
Well,
was just talking the other day about Monday Night Raw going to Netflix, and then eventually a lot of other people. Speaking of
right.
Raphael, there he is.
That's crazy
Eventually the
because
UFC
Netflix
will
knows that
hopefully
I'm
go to
broke.
Netflix and
Right. So they're like, yo,
get into live sports.
Netflix knows you're broke when they ask you to go switch down 40%, reduce your rate, and take ads. They're like, oh, you only got the one account on the platinum package. You want some ads with your Netflix? It's only half the price. Go ahead.
I want to point out something you said earlier that I want to touch on too before we move on, and I'll let you say one final thing. You said something that caught my eye. You said it's fake, and I know what you meant by that because you're a hardcore fan, and we both know it's predetermined and it's not fake, right?
Right.
And that being said, it's like I look at it like
I look at it people like that.
It's real to the point of their bodies. It's on the line every night. That canvas is rough as a motherfucker. That being said, what also is written and a lot of people enjoy, like Game of Thrones and Star Wars and Harry Potter and Twilight and everything that falls in between. So that being said, like, this is a form of entertainment. If I can go like an artist and what he writes, if I can go like Eminem's version of Slim Shady, then he's not out there killing girls, but I fall in love with that kind of music, right? Or should I say like a Tech Nine, a Tech Nina, or something like that, or Immortal Technique? Then at the end of the day, it's an art form, right?
It's just a program.
It's a form of entertainment, absolutely. And it's a win for the WWE to be able to branch out now more internationally. I remember growing up and everything was just in house. Now you see them in other countries. You see them in Saudi Arabia. You see them go to Perth, Australia. You see them in France. You see them start to take over the globe like they already have. You know what I'm saying? But the introduction, I'll let you go.
And the interesting part that you bring up here is that they want to be global. They've become global. Mm-hmm. I think the problem was their product became. The thing here is this, right? People get upset when they find out how the sausage is made, right? And for me, when I was a kid, funny story, my mom's boyfriend at the time, we'll never forget the story. We were watching wrestling on Sunday, and he goes, "Why are you watching? It's so fake." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm all excited, Hulk Hogan throwing people over the ring. And he's like, "Well, why are they punching and stomping their foot at the same time?" And I'm like, nobody punches and stomps their foot. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, and he's like showing me like the motion. And I'm like, oh. And so he kind of ruined the programming for me right then and there. And you kind of just got the magic about it. And it's like, I look at it as any other programming. You don't have to watch it. If you're sitting there watching a reality TV show like Netflix, they have Is It Cake? Right? That show's a show. No one knows who the winner is. They do. You're waiting to the end to find out. But at the end of the day, they're making cakes, right? So it's a program that you're watching that happens to be a competition. This is a competition played out and live in front of you that they can go off script, that guys and gals can actually get hurt. They interact with the audience. I mean, the NFL doesn't interact with you unless your player dances in the end zone. They don't really care at that point, right? You ever been in an NFL game? It's all highs and lows. The WWE is interactive the entire way through. It's like going to see a circus or something. You know what I mean? There's constantly motion. And like if you went to go see Hamlet, right? And you go see a Broadway play, that's predetermined. There's an outcome. There's an end. You don't know what's happening, right? It's
you go to watch it for the performance,
right?
That's why they're called superstars.
Exactly. So I don't want to take that away from people because I think that's where it gets lost. People are, oh, you're a dork. I'm like, yeah, I watch Star Wars. Okay, great. That's predetermined. There's nobody in space right now Well, there might be, but
That's what it was. May the fourth be with you. Thank you,
Yes.
Adam, for reminding me. I don't know why I said that at the beginning of the show, and continue.
Right. So my point is Star Wars is what it is, and you know the storyline. You read the comic books. I mean, like it's fiction.
Shout out to superhero movies and Marvel.
Right. Oh, Spider-Man. When's the last time I see Spider-Man climb up a damn building? Okay? Like I'm just saying. Like when we're talking about, it's fake, bro. You're so weird. You're watching fake. Yeah. Okay. Did you watch the last Marvel movie? Yeah. Guess what? There's no Wolverine or Deadpool running around. All right.
I love it.
Give me a break. There's no Batman swooping in and saving your worry. But there's Batman. People like, give me a break. Oh, that show that you watch on TV? Yeah, sure. You want to watch the NBA? That's real. It's a live sport. I'm not taking anything away from that. I love live sports.
Absolutely.
But this is live entertainment. This is called theater. It's called sports entertainment. That's what it is.
86 to 84 right now. Cavaliers over the Magic. As we move on, and I would want to touch on this real fast, that the storyline that is being written for Jey Uso, main event, give him the title. I would love to see him leave Backlash, rep that strap. That being
not
said,
yet. Probably like SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
You gotta let Damian Priest kind of cook a little bit with the title a little bit.
That is true. As we move on to another combat sport, that is the UFC, same day, a little bit later on in the night. I'm going to touch on it really fast if you guys want to.
Twofer.
Yeah, absolutely. You get a 2-for-1. If you guys want to make a little bit of a gamble, by all means purposes, I did not tell you to make this parlay.
Is this by TKO? Like, is this like under that umbrella?
Absolutely. This is the UFC. UFC and WWE is under one umbrella called TKO.
Okay, wow. So look at that. You're lining your pockets left and right.
Yeah, TKO has been winning, man. Look at that. They've won with WrestleMania. They just won with 300. And, they keep it going with Backlash and 301. With that being said, though.
Talk about conglomerate,
Absolutely. We should line up and buy some TKO stock after this. No, I'm just joking. With that being said, guys, we have Michael Pereira and Vitor and Jonathan. If you guys want a 3-leg parlay,
Big Blue,
I would pair them 3 in it. That is a nice. Obviously you might not cash out like it might not be something you're gonna run to the bank with. But at the end of the day, it's big, it's fast, and it's the dogs and they might make you sweat for it, but at the end of the day, they should be locks. They should be chalk. And that's how I'm going to put it. Now, me and Raphael did recap this fully on the Combat Club. But that being said, I do want to touch on Steve Ercek. The more I thought about it, at first leaning onto it because we did title it 301. I can't just, title it UFC and not have UFC being talked about. So I do want to touch on that a little bit. But as the more I thought about Alexander Pantoja being the more veteran of the sport, being in the UFC, basically clearing out his division. The only reason why he's fighting the number 10 opponent is because he cleared out his division. Now, he didn't clear out the division as champion. What he basically did was he fought these guys because he's been around for a long time and he's fought the who's who of the UFC. At first, I looked at Steve and I didn't want to lay money on Steve, being that, he's new. He's only been in the UFC in less than a year. He hasn't really fought anybody, not really high-level competition. You have one guy that's 27-5, and everybody knows we don't look at records when it comes to MMA. MMA math is stupid. MMA math can lie. But when it comes down to it, if you do want to lay a gamble on Steve, I don't blame you. This guy might shock the world. We've seen it happen before with the up-and-comer. Maybe not to the extent of Steve, but we've seen it before with the up-and-comer like Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva. We've seen it with a youngin with Kobe when Cody Garbrandt was really young. We've seen him come in and knock out, not even a knockout, but go toe-to-toe with Dominic Cruz and take the title away from him. So, I know this guy is young. I know this guy has only been in the UFC for a short amount of time, but he's willing to put Perth, Australia on the map and be the third champion from Australia to bring a title back there. The reason why I would say lay money on Jose Aldo, and I'm going to explain this 3-leg parlay if you guys want me to, and even if you guys want to add in Coro, you guys can add it in for more of a shamble. But let me just explain this three-lay parlay. Jonathan, he's been streaking as of late. This guy is a dog. He's been promoted right in a sense of they're feeding him to fighters his level, and there's not really feeding him to anybody that succeeds his skill level. And now they're gonna feed him to an ex-champion in Jose Aldo. What he needs to do is he needs to come in here and needs to take advantage of Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo has proven he's one of the best featherweights to ever do it. Now he's moving up to bantamweight. He had a pretty good run at bantamweight. Facing top 10 competition, but when he faced top 5 competition, he did lose. Now he's coming back off of that loss, still trying to claim his place in the bantamweight division. I think this is the most you're gonna sweat on this parlay. But if you want to lay money on Jonathan, I would. Jose Aldo, he is game, but I say Jonathan's gonna capitalize here. Anthony Smith, he's just washed, he just aged, guys. He's just taking a lot of losses as of late. And to be honest, like he's really not in the best shape. Like if he was to move his head more and if he was to like actually get out of the way, maybe he wouldn't have taken as much damage and he wouldn't scare me as much as he does. But being that like he just basically leaves his head there, I'm gonna lay money on Vitor. He's looking to come out, have a big night. This guy is undefeated. He has several knockouts on his record. Like I said, the promotion, like they did but Jonathan, the promotion is doing him right as well, just having a big win over Tyson Pedro. That being said, Vitor, this fight is easy to leave money on Vitor. But you can never count on a veteran in Anthony. And he's been there, he's seen it all, over 50 fights. That being said, we got a Bounty commercial. Shout out to Bounty. And then we got Michael Pereira. This guy's shrieking. He's ready to take it to the next level and fight for a championship soon. And I think this is a perfect feed. Like feed him to Peralta. Now Peralta can easily knock him out, but hopefully Michael can get it done. 8-2 in the UFC. We got 2-3 in the UFC. I know MMA records can lie, but he has Pereira just has 4 better experience. So if you want to lock it in, Pereira, Vitor, Jonathan, that's gonna do it for the 301 predictions, guys. As we move on to our next topic, I think we talk UFC, we talk WWE, and I think we get into NBA playoffs because there's been a lot of good playoff games that's been going on lately. And obviously people have been swept, people have been eliminated. And let's get into it, Adam. Let's open the mic back up. I'm gonna let you get in on it. And then guys, we are gonna get into the Giants talk. We're gonna get into our draft picks. We're gonna end the stream with probably draft talk and stuff like that. But as we pass it over to the NBA, I'm gonna have him cover the playoff series that he's probably been watching the closest, and then we'll get the graphics up, and then he can cover the other ones as well. But Adam, let's touch on Denver Nuggets versus the Los Angeles Lakers first.
Oh my word! Let me tell you something, okay? That series was pretty good, and I told you that Denver would smack him in the mouth. I told you that. I said they would. Okay, they didn't sweep them, obviously, but they eliminated them, and they did it in a timely fashion. Okay, and why? I'll tell you why. Because they are who they are. They are the defending champion. And the thing about the Lakers is, I watched a lot of their games. As the series went on, and I remember in this game at some point, I knew it was almost. I didn't know it was over, but you knew it was going to be a long night for the Lakers, and they battled back.
LeBron and the boys.
They battled back, but at the end, two men. And by the way, that Murray guy. If we're talking about Brunson being good, and we'll get to him in a minute, because
apologize, he's not on the thumbnail. It's just that OKC swept, and I have to give respect to the MVP. The rating that I believe. But continue, Adam.
The point is that Jokic and Murray took over the game in the final 2 minutes of the game, and they really showed why they were the champions. And the part that irks me is, like, you got Anthony Davis.
Facts. That
big dude is injured. He's sitting on the bench. He's not doing nothing. He didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? Like that big ass dude, Anthony Davis, should have been dominating, and he didn't. Listen, they were kind of sleepwalking through the series, Denver, right? But when they woke up in a big way, and that's what the champion is. Sometimes, and it happens, and I'll tell you why it happens like that. Because you've played over 120 games of basketball 2 years in a row. Last year, you ended your season in June. You started back up your season in October, right? And now here you are again in late April, early May. And so people are getting tired, right? Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. was good. He hit threes. You know, they all played. Murray down the stretch was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. What do you mean I wasn't watching that series?
You say bullshit. Adam wasn't watching shit. No, he was.
Murray hit that game winner, man.
Texting me.
He was
texting me when Murray went off. Gordon had a good game there too. AD was extremely frustrating to watch.
The thing is, like, 1 minute he'll have a game, and then the next minute he wasn't. Like, he should be unguardable. Because to me, he's the reason you brought him over here for championships, big moments like this. And I just feel like he didn't have it. And LeBron looks gassed, man. I'm just saying, 40 years old, he's not the same LeBron. I'm not saying, you know, bash him, put him in the glue factory, all that stuff. I'm not. You know, and I don't know what his tenure here with the Lakers is. I know his son might be coming out in the NBA draft sometimes. But you know, for me, this is the end of an era. It could be the end of an era. Okay.
You know, definitely. Can I just interrupt real fast? Let's touch on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it definitely is. You know, for a while now, the NBA has been dominated by Giannis, by Jokic this past couple of seasons, by Lucas, you know, of the world and stuff like that. And then you got your young bucks with you know, with Ant, with Tyrese coming up. You know what I'm saying? And then with Pablo even on the Magic, you know what I'm saying? There's so much youngness in the NBA. But when you think of LeBron, right, and you think of what the Lakers done for, you know, for him as a player, with him and Anthony Davis, right? And it's not necessarily what the Lakers has done for him as a player that came out wrong. What I'm basically saying is, like, you surround LeBron with Anthony Davis. They win a title in the bubble, obviously, against the Heat. So I remember that game. And obviously a lot of the NBA diehards don't even count that because it was in the bubble. But that being said, you know, that was the year that Kobe did pass. So shout out the GOAT Kobe. But when you really think about it, like, you have all these other players like a Brandon Ingram, like a Kyle Kuzma, that, you know, you ship off, they go and succeed elsewhere, and then, you know, LeBron and Anthony Davis is left to try to compete with these teams that is just built through the draft. Teams like Denver Nuggets, teams like OKC. If you go look at the roster, they're not rosters that they're not teams that chase superstars. They're teams that draft and develop superstars. Teams like, and you can even count the Miami Heat in there too.
Golden State Warriors did that.
Golden State.
You know, but when you touch on that,
continue your point. Yeah.
The thing is this: look, I'm not saying he was unguardable.
But my point being, real fast before you go, is like, Anthony Davis and LeBron at his age can't. I don't care who's on the team. Like, I get it. Austin Reeves can ball. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Rui can come in, but at the end of the day, it's not the same. Like, LeBron at his age and Anthony Davis can't carry a team.
Well, no, Anthony Davis should be carrying the team.
He absolutely should. But when you have a I wouldn't say ego. I want to say ego, but when you have a statue like LeBron James, like, the ball goes through him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at the end of the day, the role players kind of didn't help out, right? The guys need to hit big shots when they needed. But what I'm saying is, like, Anthony Davis, to me, I just, maybe we're watching two different games. He dominated on the boards and got rebounds and kept them in the game like that. But to me, this guy should, you know, you should average 40 a night. You should be averaging what Brunson's averaging. You should be that dominant to the point where LeBron is the secondary player. And, you know, well, you know, it was exactly
what I'm saying. Like, they don't have a team.
Listen, look, they have some players, all right? They're not great, but they're good enough at their role to do what they need to do. Austin Reeves, you know, there are games where he's streaky and he can light up the boards. I'm not saying he's your guy, but, you know, you're telling me Michael Porter Jr. is that much of a step up? They play defense. They're a well-rounded ball club. That's the difference. You know why you lost? Is because you had a team. You had better team play them, right? Because if you look at Jokic and Murray, right? Those are 2 versus 2. That cancels out
And what is
LeBron
Russell doing? What is Russell doing exactly? I'm sorry, Adam.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like these are things that need that happen, and
Absolutely.
you know, this is why you play the champions. You gave them your best shot. They were in it. They fought. There were times the Lakers could have easily put the throat down. They didn't have the killer instinct, and you know, they let it slip away. There's one game where I think it was game 2, where they basically had like a 20-point lead, evaporated. They lost by 2 points. Like, you know, like how do you come back from that? Like that, I think that's what broke the series back right there, is where they couldn't hold them in game 2, and that was the series. Once they went down 2-0, you knew good night the lights. It was going to be a long night for a long series for the Lakers, and we'll find out what happens. Listen, no Mets, no Jets. I don't have all night to watch the games. I watch them the way I watch them. I chimed in a few games here, a few games there. I'm sorry if we see it differently, but that's just
no. I would say this. I mean, like, you know, honestly, you know, two players can't compete when you have.
Murray was great. He was injured, and he still outplayed the other side.
But here's the thing. Like, that's what I was gonna touch on. Like, two players can't compete when you have the, you know, like Nomad said, you have a lot of players that didn't show up. But at the end of the day, you know, you gotta, you know, I've seen Anthony Davis over the last years, you know, kind of like take the time to kind of like look around, look at his wrist when he gets ahead, look at his shoulder. You know, when Jimmy Butler locks in to the playoffs, even though he didn't play in these playoffs, he was in the playing game. Jimmy Butler locks in, like fucking swollen knee, fucking dislocated, like whatever. He's gonna lock in. He's gonna give it his all until his whistle, until the last whistle. Like, yeah, in the regular season, yeah, okay, he's not gonna give it his all. But when it comes down to the playoffs, you know that Jimmy Butler is gonna give it his all. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question.
When you have a player like Anthony Davis, and the same can be said for Taysom. You know, even though Taysom had a pretty good series against us, when you have players like Taysom and Anthony Davis, you know, they can literally be mentioned in the categories of your Lucas and your Giannis's of the world. But the reason why they're not is because I honestly, this is my personal opinion, is like they take too much time off. Like you know, when Taysom locks in, he locks in for 1 quarter, and then the next quarter he's off. Like he's imagining, like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I need you to lock in anytime you set foot on the court. Every time Lucas steps on that basketball court, every time Giannis steps on that basketball court, they're locked in.
Well, they're also a little younger. But here's the thing too. We talk about this Laker team, but who did LeBron have with Kyrie Irving in that Cavalier team? You know what I mean? You don't have
shots. I do like that. Yes.
You don't have this. LeBron James is not the guy he was. Anthony Davis either needs to be the guy or he needs to be the number 2. If he's the number 1, this is what you're getting. I mean, that guy should be dominating the series to me. You know, listen, those big moments are big moments. You know, I mean,
I say Marcus Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon, all 3 of them.
They play defense. That's another thing I love about Denver. They
had great times in the series. We will have to take time to touch on this too. You know, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, absolutely the team that did, not only him. I mean, like this whole team, Chat with Gritty. You know, like with Williams, with Jaden Williams, like everybody, the bench, like, dude, they're ready to show up and play. And I get it, guys. The Pelicans are without Zion, but even with Zion on the court, I mean, like the OKC is looking at one thing. They're looking at a championship. They're looking at 2 teams, either Boston or either the Denver Nuggets. But to be honest with you guys, like OKC,
you don't think New York?
No, I don't. No, I think New York is gonna lose stream. I think they're a great team. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like they can shock it. I have them going at Boston. I have them making it against Boston. But Boston will probably represent. And I'm sorry, New York fans, Knicks fans, get after me, get on me all you guys want. But I'm gonna tell you this one time, like they're playing long fucking minutes, guys, long minutes. And at the end of the day, like
sometimes it does wear you out. I agree.
That's gonna wear you out when you like even if you guys take it 7 games, I don't think you guys can take it 7 games against Boston. That's gonna exhaust you guys.
Well,
Boston can score threes like Jalen Woodson, he's gonna have to be perfect to beat Boston. And
listen.
Court's gonna have to
I'll say
play
this.
out of his mind as well.
I'll
OG
say this.
Ginobili's gonna have to play out of his mind as well.
Let me say this: the Knicks can, if they can keep up the energy of being a bully ball team, they will be able to beat Boston because Boston doesn't like physicality. And the problem with Boston is that if they get in their heads, right, they're in their own heads about themselves, they will fold, right? If those two scorers, Tatum and Brown, aren't having good games and you're in their heads and you're scoring blow for blow for them, they could lose. They could lose. So don't count out the Knicks. They play with a lot of hustle, man. That Hardestein kid, that Isaiah,
they definitely play with a lot of hustle. But I will say this, honestly, I look at the 76ers and they really took the Knicks down to the wire.
Tibbs a good coach.
They shouldn't even have been there. You know what I'm saying? And yes, the 76ers are a good team, but you got to understand too that Harris played like shit. I was gonna say Khabib. Embiid,
I was like, what happened to him?
Off of an injury. Embiid was coming off of the injury, and they literally could have tied the series 3-3. But at the end of the day, the Pacers are going to be a tough out for the Knicks. Before we even talk about the Knicks and Boston's, I want to see them get past the Pacers. And Tyrese handled the Bucks with the boys on an injured back. I get it. There was without Giannis, and I get it. There was without Damian Lillard. But at the end of the day, they still had Portis. They still had Middleton. They still had a lot of veterans that came in and shot threes. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the Knicks versus the Pacers, they could get past the Pacers, but it shouldn't be it shouldn't be that easy. You know what I'm saying? When they struggled against the 76ers, I said that struggled. It should have been more easier for them. They're playing long minutes.
Well, I'll tell you what.
You're gonna bring that energy to Boston. That literally like the Golden State Warriors, because I witnessed it. Trust me, I witnessed it. You literally put up 9 points in a matter of 10 fucking seconds.
Well, I'll say this: Brunson is the X factor here because he is playing out of his mind. And sometimes in basketball, funny things happen. If you get a guard like Brunson who can both distribute, play defense, and score points, it changes the whole dynamic. And
let me put it this way. Brunson in the playoffs and Brunson overall as a competitor, I would compare to a Jimmy Butler type. All right. Brunson is going to go out there, and that's why I love watching Brunson play. That's why Knicks love Brunson. Knicks fans love Brunson. I know they wasn't too happy when he signed, but now they got to know the player. You know what I'm saying? They absolutely love
it. Takes some time. That's all.
It takes some time. But here, let me put it this way. It took Jimmy Butler, and I get it. We was without Tyler Herro, but it took Jimmy Butler and the boys last season a tough out to even get over Boston, and that was a Boston that ain't the Boston of this year. You know what I'm saying? So
you think Boston's better?
Boston's way better this year. Way better than last year. With Derek White knocked down fucking shots. Porzingis is gonna be back by the time the finals come back. You got Drew Holiday. So that is 3 players that just improves this team right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Not even speaking of their bench. And then I seen Brown in the series against Miami Heat. Basically be average, and it doesn't even fucking matter, bro, because they're still leading by 15, bro. Brown is missing shots, Tatum is taking the quarter off, and it doesn't even matter, bro, because and this is the Miami Heat team, mind you, that was bringing the energy, regardless if you had 2 starters in Rozier and Jimmy Butler out. This is a Miami team that was fighting for everything, and it's gonna take I'm not saying the Knicks can't. I'm not saying they can't, but it's gonna take an absolutely awesome performance. And guess what's waiting for them on the other side? The Nuggets or the Thunder. I mean, fuck, you know what I'm saying? That's tough. That is tough. That's gonna be fun to watch, though. As we talk about anything else you want to talk about, I will say this: the Thunder, the Nuggets. I won't count out the Timberwolves, but it's going to really come down to Ant being the X factor in this. The Timberwolves basically have a roster to compete with any team, but does the chemistry, like we just got done talking about, the chemistry of the Nuggets come back and hunt teams, young teams like the Thunder. You know what I'm saying? They're still young. Yes,
Well,
it's built. You know what I'm saying? It's built right. It's built to the draft, but they're still young. I'll let you go, Adam.
the one funny nugget: the New York Knicks and the New York Rangers both in the advance in the second round. So good for them. The Rangers we'll talk about in a second. But
we
Thunder,
lost 75% of our audience once I started shedding on the Knicks against Boston. I just want to point that out.
But OKC is a team I feel is going to play with their hair on fire. They have nothing to lose. They're not supposed to be here. They're a young team. They dominated through the NBA season, right, to earn the number one seed. And what will come down to it is experience. Now, what beats experience is just not caring. Right, just do it.
Go past that and be loud. Like if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm loud. I'm fucking screaming. Like,
well, '94, both the Rangers and the Knicks ended up in the finals, where the Rangers ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So
yeah, you deserve to say, look at your team, the New York Giants. Look at our team. Obviously, I'm a man.
Let's go Rangers,
beating the undefeated Patriots. So as Knicks fans, you should, the way you guys team been playing this season.
Well, that's a little different. You should. The Knicks are number 2 seed. I mean, it's not like they're the 8 seed making.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the number 2 for a reason. They've been playing great basketball. So don't let a figure like me doubt. Like you guys should be loud and you guys should say you can win it all and fuck Boston.
What year were you born, Zion?
I was born in 1993.
All right, so you were 1 when this was all going on. So,
yes, sir.
The city.
I was born at the golden year of hip hop.
The metropolitan area of New York City in '93 and '94, and that mid '90s was something to behold because you had Jordan coming off his thing, and then the Rangers go, the Knicks are in the finals. It was something different, right? Because Jordan had just left. And they were there, and they could do it. So it's one of those things as a kid you'll never forget because the city was ablaze, was a buzz of just hope and vitriol and happiness. And then the Rangers winning. I mean, they hadn't won. They're one of the flagship franchises, winning the Stanley Cup, and they haven't won one since. And I don't want to jinx them. I don't want to say anything too much because I'm afraid to say anything. I don't even want to comment on their game because I don't want them to somehow not make it. But let the magic happen, and I'm excited for both of them. I mean, I can't say I'm a Knicks fan anymore. I was when I was a kid. So in '94, yes, I followed them because they were in the New York area. I was a Bulls fan. Obviously, most people know why. Scotty was good.
Because of
Scotty was good. Scotty was good. No, Scotty was good. Listen, Scotty is one of the best defensive players of all time. Michael Jordan, the debate is out. Listen, when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird say you're the greatest, you got to listen to 2 of the best to ever do it. So, but like I said, and that's the year that Scottie Pippen shaved his head bald. That's kind of funny too. But again, I was a young kid. Jordan had just left. The Knicks were the happening thing. The Bulls, they still had that team. They still were fighting. They still had Phil Jackson trying to win championships. And the Knicks ended up playing. I think they ended up playing the Rockets. I think they played the Rockets twice, if I'm not mistaken, back-to-back years. Actually, no. Yes? No. Maybe it was 1 year. No, it was 1 year was the Magic, and then the next year was, I think, the Rockets. One of those 2 teams. The Rockets went back-to-back. That's all I know in that era. And the Knicks played the Rockets at one point for the finals title. And they lost. But they still made it there. You know what I'm saying? And, this will be a title that, if they get there, that we haven't seen since 1998 when they lost to the San Antonio Spurs, which is sad. They had Sprewell. They had a good team. They had a good team then. They had Marcus Camby. They had Sprewell. They had Allen Houston. You know what I mean? They had a lot of good players in that 98 team. And Latrell Sprewell was kind of fun because he went over the top. But we're talking about the Rangers and the Knicks. They were both together in '94. So let's hope that those 2 teams end up in the finals. We'll see.
And Stokes decided to go cold in Game 7. Unforgivable. We had
LJ, that 4-point play, Big Mama, Grandmama was he was great. He was great. That's what I'm saying. New York was when New York wins and you have legends, you remember guys like Grandmama, right? Charles Oakley, guys like that. You remember. They may not be household names, but you remember them because they won championships.
Ran into Tim Duncan. Damn.
Yeah, that was the year they had Tim Duncan and David Robinson, the Twin Towers. The great fundamental.
I was just really young. I just remember turning on the TV and seeing this little guy named Allen Iverson running all over the place and said, "Yep, I'm gonna be a fan of that guy."
Oh my God, that play was epic. That play was epic. And then he puts up the LJ sign. Like moments like that. And I think Mike Breen even was like, bang! So when Mike Breen makes a call, it's epic. There's certain basketball guys like Marv Albert back in the day, spectacular move, and now it's Mike Breen. If you get the bang from Mike Breen, then he's feeling it. He's feeling the broadcast. So
absolutely. Alrighty, guys. As we move on, we're gonna touch on. I say we touch on the Giants draft picks. I know you guys touched on it on NFC East roundup. Not roundup. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That being said, though, we were gonna touch on it. I say, you know what? We do it a little bit different. We'll go bottom up. You know what I'm saying? We'll build up the expectations, and then we touched on Malik Nabers and our thoughts on him.
Yes, it was.
So let's go bottom up because I can't wait to talk about Darius Mursal because he is from my state. You know what I'm saying? The state of Hawaii, and from my island, actually, the island of Oahu. Now a lot of people, Adam is probably seeing.
What?
I wanna touch on this kid. Okay, there's three schools. There's three schools as of late, and in high school that is, and that is
I'm seething.
Yeah, that is like St. Louis. That's where Tua went. That's where Marcus Mariota went. There's a team like Kahuku. That they're on national schedule. Like Kahuku, they're out there playing like Murder Day. They're playing like Bishop Gorman from Las Vegas. They're out there on national schedules. And then there's Mililani, and Darius Mursal went to Mililani. One of the top colleges, one of the top high schools. We all don't, you know what I'm saying? One of the top high schools in Hawaii on the island of Oahu, and he had his time at the University of Hawaii for a little bit before transferring to UCLA. What I did like about this kid is literally, he comes in, he literally can go to work and compete for some time on the field immediately. What he did at UCLA, I mean, if you're a Giants fan, you obviously did your research. You knew that he led the team in tackles. You know what I'm saying? He's really good at, coming up and executing on the line of scrimmage and stopping the run. Obviously, he still has a lot of work to improve on, but every opportunity that he had, whether it be at Mililani High School, whether it be at the University of Hawaii, or whether it be at UCLA, he made the most of his opportunities. And I don't see that stopping in the NFL. I see this kid coming in and obviously going to work and competing, and he's gonna see the field. He's gonna see the field. Now, I don't know if he's gonna be a starter. He still has a lot of work to do, but I can see him playing. Obviously, special teams, and obviously getting a snap, getting a couple snaps here. So on Sundays as maybe a rotational player, but being picked in the 6th round, that is gonna take a lot. But like I said, he is a Polynesian. And I have to be biased when I talk about it because I'm Polynesian. So this kid gonna make the roster. It's gonna be all right. But I'm gonna let Adam touch on him a little bit more about non-biased.
Well, I mean, his 6th round pick. So you're basically trying to get his traits. Hopefully, he'll get a shot at starting. It'll be funny. There's a guy who used to play on the Giants. I forget what his name was. He wore 48, and his hair was just come out. I forget. Oh my God. It's gonna
MacDaGiantsFan here. I'm sorry.
It's gonna once it comes back to me, let me look it up.
What number did you pick?
He's number 48 for the Giants. Linebacker. Let's see. I can't look it up because my computer doesn't work.
We'll keep on talking. I'll look it up for you.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think he'll be a six-round pick. Usually, usually is not. How should I put this? He doesn't make the team. He's going to be in special teams. I'm hoping he's making the team, but we'll see. I forget what his name was.
I say he's he's making the team.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to replace Cam. He's going to replace Cam Newton. I mean, Cam Newton. Cam Brown. Cam Brown. Those guys, nothing.
I talk in my
crazy.
The latest street reactions and I love those reactions. I definitely will. I love these guys getting crazy. I love what happened last year. I loved last year. They're talking so much shit about Butler and then what happened. But we're eliminated, so you guys go and you guys please take out Boston that took out us. But you know what I'm saying? I love those street guys because New York Knicks fans get absolutely crazy. As we move on here. All right, this next guy, we have Tyrone Tracy Jr., running back out of
Wanyunga. That's his name. His name was Wanyunga.
There you go. 2 hours later, but it's still counts. Oh no, I'm just joking. But that being said, Tracy Jr. I see him as like a switch Army knife here. You know what I'm saying? This guy's gonna probably be our main returner. He is a running back that has played wide receiver in the past. This literally is gonna come in, and this guy, what I heard a lot from this guy is this guy has a lot of capability, right?
He's got some juice.
You got some juice on him, right? So if you think about the theme of it, we have Yak on this team now. We got Malik Nabers that can produce Yak. We got Tyrone Tracy that can produce Yak. We got Jalen Hyatt that can produce Yak. Robinson. Point being, we don't have a quarterback to throw them the football.
No.
That's the time for another day.
You have a quarterback that can throw a 5-yard pass.
That's
so
what
you're
I'm
getting.
saying.
So what you're doing is you're getting guys. You're getting guys who can break tackles after 5 yards.
Absolutely.
To help your 5
play
yard
to Daniel Jones'
pass.
strengths.
Right, 5-yard passes. If it doesn't work out, it's going to be a long season. Daniel Jones not going to carve you up over the middle, but you're getting guys to kind of help you out in the screen game, like Bo Nix did.
Oh, yes, and I'm always going to move on already. But do you want to touch on Tyrone Tracy Jr.?
I think he's going to be a guy who's going to be a special teams player. He's going to be probably.
I want him to.
He might be running back too. Who knows? I mean, they still have Eric Gray.
He is definitely going to be return man.
But he'll definitely get some return snaps. I think what he does is he adds an element that we haven't had with a pass catching back out of the backfield, which I think the Giants are going to go more of a committee based run thing. Devin Singletary is good. He's a bruiser kind of back. To me, he's not a speed back. He's more of a downhill runner, kind of
over 1,000 yards from scrimmage, all purpose over the past 3 seasons.
Well, that's not that much when you think that he has 800 yards rushing, and then he
has
like 200 yards. Yeah, I mean, but Barkley gets like 1,800 yards from scrimmage. So,
talk about the ops like that.
I mean,
I'm talking about here.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is Devin Singletary allows you to run downhill, do some things. Absolutely. Porter allows you to have a third down back, which we haven't really had here. A guy that can be an outlet for your quarterback. It's not this. It's. Let's just say to this, right? Eli Manning, what we used to call him before Daniel Jones came here was check down Charlie, right? Because he would check down to the running back. This is what you're going to see with Daniel Jones, right? Check down Charlie, because he's going to want to play it safe. So a guy like Tracy allows you to do that and allows you to, utilize him in a different way that we haven't had. And we think about Saquon Barkley, but we never can use him as a pass catcher. This guy actually has receiving skills that we can utilize. And if we had a competent quarterback, I would be like, let's be excited about this, but we don't. But that's a story for another day.
Oh, good job, Adam. Good job. Let's get into Theo Johnson.
I like this pick.
Penn State. I absolutely love this pick as well. And I'm gonna let you go first on Tyrone and Tyrone. You're first on Theo. And why do you like Theo Johnson as a pick?
Well, it's funny. I was watching the combine. Didn't do any of my homework yet, and Theo Johnson pops up on the screen. And just like Daniel Bellinger, I called to the Giants. I said, "Hey, that guy would look good in the New York Giant uniform." and I kind of kept my eye on him as Penn State, a guy he can block, he can catch the ball in the backfield. A lot of people were comparing him to, I'm not saying he's going to have this career, but like Jimmy Graham, like he could develop into that kind of guy, where he has that athletic ability. I'm going to hold off on calling him Jimmy Graham, but I understand being 6'5". But what I love about him is he blocks, and he has some ability to go down the seam. And the thing that is missing in this, I'll tell you what's missing in this offense. And it can either be schematic or it can be because the quarterback stinks, right? We don't have back shoulder fades, we don't have jump balls, and we don't have seam passes down the road. Now, don't get me wrong, Theo's no Waller, so he's not going to threaten much. But when you have a good team, you look at Eli Manning, tight end saved him, Kevin Boss, and he also made some tight ends, and Kevin and Larry Donnell and Kevin Boss and Travis Beckham. He also had Shockey here. He had a lot of guys too, and that quarterback needs a tight end. We haven't had a good one in a while. Bellinger's been in and out with injury. Waller's MIA, right? Theo, I'm not expecting a 4th round pick to come in and, go gangbusters, but have a touchdown, get some plays. I really depends on how the quarterback plays. Really, to be honest with you, it really just comes down to Daniel Jones. Yeah. We have a lot of weapons that could really develop, and part of the development is your quarterback getting you the ball, because otherwise you're just running cardio out there.
And that's what we kind of hope. You know what I'm saying? Like let's just be positive for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And just play the game, right? Let's play the game that Theo Johnson comes in, Malik Nabers comes in, Tyrone Tracy comes in, and literally, comes in and really helps this offense. Okay, you have an offensive line with the new additions that come in with, I think, an offensive line coach that is really going to get these kids playing on a high level, a pretty good level for the National Football League. Okay, so say DJ does take the time to block, and I want to get excited. I want to get excited.
He needs that like Baker Mayfield numbers.
Yeah, like all these Giant fans, right? They're telling, I see some Giants fans taking majority of their time, like not even like looking at the future of they got the receiver. Like the receiver is in the bag. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, they're still letting these Giant fans on Twitter rent space in their mind. Like, why? Like, at the end of the day, you guys got the running back. You guys got the running back, like with Tyrone. You guys got the wide receiver of the future. You guys got the tight end of the future. You guys got all the weapons, right? What didn't get addressed? The offensive line. What didn't get addressed? The quarterback. At the end of the day, I want to be happy. I want to root for this team. But all I know is we're one injury away from just having a nightmarish season. Like I'm comfortable with our defense. Like I actually can say that. Tyler Nubin, I know I'm jumping ahead. Tyler Nubin, I love the addition. Drew Phillips, that addition has grew on me. You know what I'm saying? With the addition of Brian Burns and what our D-line is going to offer, what our young secondary can offer. I do love that. I love our addition on defense. I honestly think that our defense can keep us in the games. But when you look at our offense, say everybody does stay healthy. This offense still is not a threat like other offenses around the league. You know what I'm saying? So when Caleb Williams and the Bears and the Vikings and who went to the Vikings again? McCoy. Yeah, JJ. That being said, I can see JJ and the Bears both taking the Vikings and the Bears with Caleb taking them to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see Daniel Jones, now that he has his fucking receiver, right? I want to see Daniel Jones take this team to the playoffs.
I don't really want to see Daniel Jones anymore on the field.
I don't. But the way everybody's talking, right? When the season's over, Daniel Jones better have as a 6-year quarterback with the offensive line with fucking ribbons. He better have Baker Mayfield numbers. Better have good numbers, Baker Mayfield's numbers, and he better take this team someplace. Because at the end of the day, don't give me the excuse that at the end of the season, when Daniel Jones didn't make it fucking all of 17 games, when he only played 9 fucking games, and then Drew Lock had to come in, start the season, sit on the bench, let Daniel Jones play around for a little bit. Daniel Jones is probably going to get hurt. Drew Lock's going to come in and finish the fucking season. Malik Nabers is going to be a household name because he's a dog. He's going to get his no matter what. We're going to be fishing for a quarterback, and then you're going to have J.J. McCourtney with the Vikings in the playoffs. You're going to have Caleb Williams with the Bears in the playoffs. You're going to have all these teams like that is a whole lot tougher like the Philadelphia Eagles, they draft, like the Cowboys that kept in home players that's still better than us. Washington that we're easily probably not gonna sweep this year. Like everybody's so excited about the players that we got in. Like the amount of pressure that we're putting on these rookies is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. At the end of the day, it's not that I'm knocking Daniel Jones. It's not that us who wanted a quarterback is knocking Daniel Jones. We just know what the outcome is.
Well, you have to
not extend a long-term success this season without one injury away from the season being over on offense. It's literally how it goes.
You have to knock him because that's what critiquing is. And when you can clearly see a problem with what the operation happening, it doesn't make sense. I mean, we'll go to Tyler Newman real quick and we'll get to Nabers so we can kind of inflate what we're talking about here. Newman, I think, is a good pick. You trade him for McKinney. He was a solid safety, rangy, best safety on the board. Do I think they should have went safety? Who knows? We'll see if it pans out for them. Good job. Malik Nabers, absolute dog. Love his personality. He doesn't obviously like his quarterback right now because he can't even pronounce the guy's name. He didn't look too happy being on the Giants. I don't want to read body language or read too much into it, even though I did. But body language does mean a lot. And it does show me a lot when you're not even smiling ear to ear, no matter what. There's been guys who have come in and just love them, right? And then you had Joe Shane carry their bags like bitches, like try to get this kid in. Anyways, Malik Nabers, right? The over under is like 850 yards, right? For Vegas, that's what it was. I thought I was shocked when I heard that. But anything less than 1,500 yards for me, this kid is like washed because that's how good he's supposed to be. Okay, I need him to have a big year, and I'm going to say this right now to all the people that are running your laps because we got a receiver. Because you're right, this team better be in the NFC Championship game. This team better be in the NFC Championship game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear anything. Well, they won 8 games. It was a tough schedule. No, sorry. You paid a quarterback $160 million. You doubled down on that quarterback again this season with two neck injuries and a ACL, and you got him a receiver who, by the way, you didn't even like the quarterback because you went up and wanted to trade for his fucking replacement anyways. And then you turn around and say, oh, hey, baby, I didn't mean to, hit on that girl. I really love you, right? That's basically what's happening right now. You'll turn around to Daniel Jones like, hey, don't worry about that. We really love you. So now you got a disgruntled the locker room obviously doesn't like Daniel Jones. Let's keep it a buck. Okay, Kayvon Thibodeau, the things that you say, you don't say that about your locker room if you like the guy for supporting him. You saw their body language when he came onto the field. Okay, against the Dallas Cowboys, he got his head kicked in and nobody did anything. Against the Jets, Tyrod Taylor gets injured, everybody's up in their grill, right? Everybody was up in their grill. So, it does matter. Momentum matters. And I don't know if, most likely not a playoff team. I mean, listen, my expectation.
That's what they're telling us, right? They're telling us that, like regardless of guiding a wide receiver for the future quarterback. Let's talk about the move right now.
Why is that unrealistic?
You pay $40 million to your quarterback. You bring in a defensive stud in Brian Burns.
Exactly.
You bring in an offensive line, and then you take a stud in a dog in Malik Nabers.
Exactly.
And you're telling me a 6th round pick, a quarterback. It's not you, Mets. I'm just saying. A 6th-year quarterback can't go out there and compete with rookies. So you're saying Daniel Jones, not you, Mets. I'm just saying Daniel Jones can't go out there. Daniel Jones, the Giants should go out there and beat teams like the Bears and beat teams like the Vikings. Because you know why? The Bears, they're newly put together, and the Vikings, they're newly put together with their quarterback, and it should take chemistry. But guess what's not going to happen? The Giants are not going to go out there and beat teams like the Bears. They're not going to go out there and beat teams like the Falcons. They're not going to go out there and beat teams like the other team I just mentioned, not even Green Bay. That being said, like the illusion that Giants fans are selling other Giants fans that this team is just made because we got Malik Nabers, we got Theo Johnson, and we got the Tyrone, and we got Hyatt, and everything is just going to be on point.
I know we're not a playoff team.
It's not going to happen because of the fact that, and that's what me and Adam is saying. Like the expectations with the 6-year quarterback should be high, but we know it's not going to happen because.
But I'm not setting that bar low. I'm not setting that bar low. See, that's the difference. I understand that we're probably not going to be good, but that's not me. I don't want this. I don't want Daniel Jones here, but I'm going to set I'm going to set an expectation level that every Giant fan should have if you believe in this team, right? Yes, I have. That guy is not going to lead us to double-digit wins. No, that guy can barely lead a line dance.
I'll take Drew rapping on the bench, and people may go fast. People may think we're tripping, right? Seriously, you're going to take Drew Lock. You're going to take Drew Lock. You're going to just take Drew Lock over Daniel Jones.
Yes, I am.
Like, you know why?
Yes, I am.
Because Drew Lock rode the bench. He rode the bench for a long time.
He got swagger.
And
go watch his videos.
He got swagger.
Go watch his videos. I'll put on from my city. He's like singing the song.
Yeah. I'm like, let's be real. Let's be real.
Doing that.
Drew Lock has been proven to be in this league as a backup quarterback and ride the bench for a very long time. Okay, but he was able to learn and develop under quarterbacks. Then also, you know, he wasn't ready to start. But you know what he gives us? He gives us an opportunity that when Geno Smith got the opportunity in Seattle, he didn't want to go back on the bench. Okay? So it's kind of like we know how the story ends with Daniel Jones. We know how that story ends. So at the end of the day, when Drew Lock gets his chance, he's gonna try to make most of the opportunity. Now, I get it. People,
week 1.
I get it. Yeah, he probably will. I get it. People that like
Ravens.
I want to be wrong.
Daniel drops back first pass of the game. Boom, gets crushed, hits his neck. Like it's over.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Like that is true. That's what we're talking about. It's like we're not trying to wish injury on a player.
That's why it's a dumb investment.
But at the end of the day, it's kind of like everybody's like Daniel Jones hasn't. We never seen Daniel Jones with the ripping. We never seen Daniel Jones with this. We never seen Daniel Jones with that. Okay, here you guys have it. This year, the Giants make it forward in the playoffs with the 6-year quarterback because that's the expectation.
NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that.
Why can't we be the Lions? I mean,
go Daniel Jones, go do it.
I mean, I know it's an unrealistic expectation, but my point is this.
Why is it an unrealistic?
Well, that's what Nomet said. But my point is this: as a business, I don't know why you would do. The reason why I'm angry about the quarterback situation is more so the business aspect of the ball game, right? The fact that you're investing in an employee who is subpar at his job and is late. Your mantra is smart, tough, and dependable. That is far from Daniel Jones on the football field. You know, he's not he doesn't make smart decisions. He's not dependable, and he gets injured all the time, so you can't rely on him, right? He is tough. I give him that. But what are we talking about here? Drew Lock, to me, the reason why I would want Drew Lock to start has more to do with, one, he physically doesn't have the same limitations.
This game that Brian Dable was trying to win.
Right. Well, he doesn't have the same problems Daniel Jones has physically. Okay. He was injured, but not like people don't understand. This is a back injury. Okay. Neck and back injury. Those don't go away. Those don't just clear up. They get worse. Okay. The second thing is Drew Lock has the propensity to throw the ball downfield, which Daniel Jones is not. Daniel Jones, I don't care what people say. He became a safe quarterback. He doesn't like to make the mistake. He doesn't want to lose his job. And with Drew Lock here, I don't think he's going to be that air it out, because if he's going to air it out, he's going to lose his job and everything. Daniel is scared of losing his job. That's what it is. And the thing becomes to me is if he struggles out the gate, let's say he struggles because he's not getting the reps, right? He doesn't get too many reps, but then you thrust him in there week 1, right? Because you're like, oh, you're healthy, Daniel, whatever, you start him. And he comes out and the team struggles to score points, and they struggle to win some games. Maybe they're 1-3, 0-4. Do you pull the plug and say, okay, now let's just see what Drew Lock can give us, and let's go? Because at some point you've got to understand. Like I'm not in the camp for fail for Arch Manning, because I think that's a dumb idea business wise. I think that's a dumb idea with the Giants, anyways, because you don't know what that kid's going to do. He might transfer. He might get NIL money. Like, just because his name is Manning doesn't mean he's going to be as good as Eli and or Peyton.
That's like 2 to 3 years also. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if you're looking at that, that's like he's finally
and now
getting
you're talking about
agent story, so you have to wait 2 more years.
And so now you're going to wait. You're going to burn
You're gonna
Andrew
bridge
Thomas.
for him.
You're going to burn Andrew Thomas. You're going to burn Dexter Lawrence. You're going to burn Brian Burns, waiting 2 years to do nothing. This is what I mean by the expectation shouldn't be, oh, we're going to be bad next season, so it's okay. No, the expectation is you should be in the NFC Championship game. Now the thing is, the problem is the entire NFC got good. Okay, the Giants have 2 teams on the schedule that have 4 wins or less. Two. That's the Panthers and the Commanders. Okay,
that's the team we can beat. The Panthers.
The Falcons have 7 wins. The entire NFC South minus the Panthers has at least 7 wins. Okay, the 2 teams above us have both double-digit wins. Okay, we play them twice. That's 6. That's already 5 games right there, if you want to count those 3, against tough opponents that got better this offseason. And then you want to talk about the AFC North.
You cut off.
No, I'm
thinking.
I'm just reading what No Met said. He said, "Side note, this is not towards you, NYC fan." Well, it's funny because people complain about Barkley. I really don't care, man. It's like spilled milk. Who cares? Your ex-girlfriend's dating somebody else, and you're like, oh, get over it. He's over playing with the enemy. He made that choice. Let him live with it. I don't give a shit. He's trolling fans too. It's part of the rivalry. I don't really give a shit. We've seen Carl Banks, Mark Varro change teams. But what I'm saying is, getting back to what my point is, the whole AFC North has teams that were fighting for the playoffs or in the playoffs. I think their entire division, minus the Bengals, was in the playoffs, right? They had the Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Ravens all in there. Not to mention the Bengals are going to have Joe Burrow back, okay? So then you have the Indianapolis Colts, who are also in on that mix. You know what I'm saying? So we are talking about a lot of teams here, and not to mention we play Minnesota Vikings as well. So God forbid J.J. McCarthy outdoes Daniel Jones on that day. We're going to have really something to talk about. But my point is, This is a tough schedule, and the Giants quarterback doesn't do well against tough defenses. Okay, it's just fact. That's not me being a basher. Go watch his tape. He doesn't win. That's the thing.
It's like the precious, like Malik Nabers. He's a dog, and I'm not knocking Malik Nabers because honestly, the kid's 21.
I think he should have 1,200
He's
yards.
about to be 21. This kid is literally gonna come in. Yes, he's gonna have that 1,000-yard season. He's gonna be the wide receiver that us Giants fans are absolutely gonna love watching. You know what I'm saying? And he could he could have a bomb first season, but at the end of the day, I know how this season ends because of the quarterback names is Daniel Jones, and I'm like, let's just get into that because of the fact that
Daniel going to give up his number to Nabers.
Yeah, I wonder. That's a good question. Probably not. But that being said, though, it's like, people may be like, what are you guys talking about? You guys just keep on saying his quarterback is Daniel Jones. Because there's things Daniel Jones does that literally, like, Malik Nabers, like, let's just put with wide receivers that was on the team that was wide open, like high last season, that Daniel Jones did not see. Okay, I'm saying? So now you're going to blame the O-line. Okay, let's blame the O-line. So Daniel Jones, better, like that's what me and Adam is saying. We're not. We are actually, I'm actually happy with Malik Nabers. He was one of my favorite wide receivers. I know Harrison was impossible to get, so I would have settled on Malik if we had to go wide receiver. Adam likes Nabers better. I disagree.
I like Adunze better.
I do. Yeah, he likes one better. I really do like Nabers. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is, like,
I just think the Giants need a guy like that.
He's still a rookie, guys. I mean, like, we're depending, like I'm not.
Think of Saquon Barkley in 2018. That's what I have to think about. Think about that guy because he had 1,800 yards from scrimmage, right? He had 1,300 yards rushing and 500 yards passing. He led the team in receptions with 76 or some shit, or maybe more than that, maybe like 90 because they dumped it off to him. That's why they called him Check Down Charlie, right? So I'm just saying, to me, like,
but that's what I'm saying. It's like. Yeah, he's going to have numbers and he's going to be a fantasy king. But at the end of the day, this is still a National Football League. So if I'm not ever going to, like, I don't want to go there. But
let me talk about one guy when you're done.
Giants fans are really thinking, like, this guy's going to go out there and, like, be a dog on every single play. And We're going to get scored upon. Say if our defense doesn't hold out, we'll get scored upon. Can Daniel Jones and Malik Nabers and this offense compete this day and age in the National Football League? Get scored upon, come back, score again. Go get scored upon, have like a minute to go down and score a touchdown. Like, I don't see it. I really don't. I don't trust Daniel Jones with 1 minute on this. It's not even 1 minute. It's not even 2 minutes on, but it's like 30 seconds. Like in this day and age,
I'm just scared of his body breaking down.
And Patrick Mahomes. But that's what I'm saying. The guy's not even going to make it through a season. But even if he does make it through a season, when Eli Manning used to come walking into the games in the fourth quarter and we're down by a touchdown or we're down by 6, I knew that Eli Manning could ride this team back for a victory. I don't have that feeling with Daniel Jones and Malik Nabers. That doesn't give me that feelings. I'm still not comfortable. I'm still not comfortable with Daniel Jones coming in with Malik Nabers.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like that.
If you had Eli Manning and Malik Nabers,
that'd be
different
different
story.
That'd be different. If we had, you know what? If Daniel Jones had T. Higgins on this team with every receiver, then okay, maybe we have a chance. But I'm not. I'm being honest, man. Like if I'm a defensive coordinator, if I'm a defensive coordinator, Daniel Jones does not scare me. Does not scare me. Guess what? 26 is not in the backfield no more.
Well, they asked. Mets asked the question: will the defense still stack the box versus the Giants' offense? Yes, I think you need to. The thing will be this, though: if Daniel Jones can audible into a run play, that will be what it is, because the thing is not about necessarily the Giants' offense being bad. It's your quarterback going up there and recognizing that they're stacked in the box. I have Malik Nabers. Let me adjust. Now, they might be calling your bluff, or they might say our blitz is going to get there faster to there. Yes, Eli made Plaxico burst. He did. Plaxico kind of helped Eli get his sea legs about him. They kind of made each other. Because Plaxico, you throw the ball at the Plaxico, he'd go pluck it off somebody's head and touchdown. But my point is, this move for me was next year's move. This was, you get the quarterback this year, you can rebuild with all these pieces. You bring a bridge quarterback like Drew Lock, you play, boom. Whatever the record is the record is. If it's going to be truly a competition, I want to see a competition. If Drew Lock is outplaying Daniel Jones in training camp, then start him. I don't want you to start him and Daniel, who doesn't get all the reps or, is a little rusty because he hasn't played football in a while, with these receivers, is going to, do it. And mind you, he's like, we have a lot of young guys. And let me get to a guy that needs to be talked about. There's a man on this team by the name number 86. He's holding out right now. And somebody decided to tell me that they want to pay him. And I think Joe Shane paying Darius Slayton is pretty dumb. For a guy that has 1 year left on his contract, never cracked the 1,000-yard mark, who's now probably going to be your fourth receiver when it's all said and done at the end of the year, because you have 3 guys, barring injury, who are investment.
Darius Slayton now? I'm sorry, I just went to
get
some water.
Yes. You draft Malik Nabers number 1. You draft Wando Robinson number 2, and you drafted Jalen Hyatt in the 3rd round. Okay, those 3 guys. You don't think those guys are going to need more playing time? So they're gonna lose reps to Darius fucking Slayton? Are you kidding me? Like, what are we talking about here? People are trying to say that, oh well, Darius Slayton is a valuable piece of this team, my 4th receiver. Like, yeah, okay, great. How many touches is he going to see? How many targets is that guy going to see now? Because whatever his target number was last year, we think he's going to see that this year. Like, are we serious? Yes, that was the evaluation, and it's a shitty one. Mostly because I think they like Drake May, and I think Drew Lock and Drake May have very similar qualities in what they do. Both strong arm, both are gunslingers, can throw it down the field. And I think that's who they're kind of relying on. I think they really want to start Drew Lock. They're going to try in every shape or form start Drew Lock. He may not win the job because Daniel Jones will be there and be annoying, but Daniel Jones hasn't passed the physical from what we know right now to physically do contact. He's doing, airing the throws out right now and doing all this shit and getting to do it. But until he has full contact, which I don't think he's going to even – I don't think he's going to play preseason. So he's going to miss all those reps. He's going to miss most of those reps, probably the first team, and then we're going to see what happens. And like I said, I want an opponent out the gate. I want the Ravens out the gate. I want a team that's going to come in and slap us around a bit. really make us earn our victories, because it's not going to be a powder puff schedule this year. And it's going to come down to the quarterback winning us football games, period, point blank and period. That's the end of it. And my point is, with Darius Slayton on this team, I don't see him getting reps. I just don't see. You're not going to lose out reps to those guys. Wando Robinson came back healthy. They're going to give him more burn. Jalen Hyatt, second year in the offense, he's going to get more burn. Malik Nabers, he's a guy. So now you have three guys who are going to command the football. Where does Darius Slayton fit on this? I didn't mention.
Yeah, I mean, like Malik Nabers, he's targeted 15 times plus a game. Like
right.
He's gonna get targeted the fuck out of.
Okay,
you know
right. So you say 15 targets. Let's say he catches 8 to 10 of those. Okay, so now we're looking at another 10 to 15 throws by Daniel Jones, because he's not throwing more than 25 times, maybe 30 times in a game.
Here's the thing about Slayton, though. It's like, what is the price? What are you asking? Right. Because when receivers, like the thing about Slayton is we talked about it, right? It's like you're a 5th round pick that had to produce because you got pulled into a number 1 role. But in that number 1 role, you had every opportunity. You had every opportunity to take advantage of it, and not once. And I know the 1,000 ain't be all end all.
He averages 3 seasons, 750.
But the average has shown consistency that he's a good receiver, but he's not meant to be that 1,000-yard consistency receiver. And obviously, we know now that we have a true X factor, a true dog in Malik Nabers. So how much are you demanding? Because at the point of the factor is you are not a
he's already replaced
type number 1. You are already replaced. You are and I don't want to be mean here, but like, how much money are we looking to pay you here? And like, how much money do you want? Because I do believe that the injury history at wide receiver and our turf being the villain in a horror movie, I do want to know how much is he asking, because I do like Slayton.
Well, he's already getting paid. Slayton, he's on the roster. He's on the roster.
You go. You're on the roster. So what is this holdout shit? Because at the end of the day, dude, like, you know what I was sick at? I was a big Oklahoma fan, and then when he came to the Giants, you know what I'm saying? He should have held out.
He should have held out last year.
And then exactly, he didn't produce, and then he ended up just riding the roster over and over again. And I guess I'm talking about Sterling Shepard. And like at the end of the day, guys, let's just like, you're on the roster, you really signed your contract, you are a good receiver, and you know what? Go out there and prove it. Go out there and prove it in camp. Go out there and win snaps on Sundays, beat guys out, and go out there and be the second best receiver. Don't let people mention Hyatt and Robinson, because when I mention our receivers, Slayton is the last person that's coming out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's probably the last person coming out of the rest of their mouths too, because at the end of the day, yes, you did a yeoman's job. You're okay. You did what you needed to do with Daniel Jones. You got some burn here and there. But if you watch,
I want to see what Vice Beaton does too. Exactly.
If you want to look at Darius Slayton, he's up and down. Right? There's times where he's missing in games, and then all of a sudden he'll show up, or he's missing for weeks, and then he'll show up. He's not a guy that I'm worried about. He's asking for money because he knows the time is up for him. That's why he's asking for money. If you want to ask for money, it was the time that you asked for money.
You know what's so fucking crazy how bad this team is? It's like Darius Slayton is like your average Pittsburgh receiver, like your average receiver that's just buried on the depth chart on some other teams, that doesn't complain, that loves every snap that he gets. You know what I'm saying? You look around the league, and you look at these.
Odell Beckham Jr. on Miami.
Yeah, exactly. OBJ just signed with Miami. You look at all these teams, and you go down the list, and then you look at the 4th receiver, and they'll be like, okay, that guy is a good comparison to Slayton, and that guy is happy with every single snap he gets. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, what the fuck's going on here? Why is that team so bad?
I mean, we're keeping guys who are not going to be a factor in our future.
Bobo, bro.
But you just got paid. He just got paid. You just got paid. They signed him to a 2-year
Well, you know why?
deal.
Because you've seen receivers like Amor St. Brown getting paid $32 million, and
I agree.
money, but there's a difference.
I agree with both your points, Nomats, the drops and the quarterback play. I agree with that. However, right now it's a war of attrition, and you're at the bottom right now because 3 guys from this regime got drafted, all with premium selections. Okay, you are an afterthought. They also paid you last year. And what am I going to pay you for 2 more years? And then they bring in another fucking receiver to kick your ass down the curb, and then you don't play special teams. So what are you useful for? I'm just saying, like, look, play out your contract and then negotiate for more money. That's what you do. You say, you know what? Fuck it. You're not going to pay me. I'm going to ball out right now. Daniel, let's go. Let's cook up in the lab because I'm going to fucking ball out. That's what you do.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, go beat out people like Hyatt. Go beat out people like Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Go live out your contract, and then
that's what I mean. Exactly. You want to get paid? Show me. Because right now, to me, you're not going to be paid because if those
you think Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith didn't go ball out and aren't happy with their new contracts? Like, what the fuck?
Well, it's not even that. It's the fact that you got paid 2 years because of your efforts, right? We saw what you did in 2022. We're going to let you go. They gave him a 2-year deal after 2022. They played him okay, right? Now he has a contract this year. He's trying to hold out for more money. Bruh, we just drafted a guy in the top 6, the top 10. Your days are numbered on this team, homeboy. I hate to tell you that, but they are. Because that guy is going to eat up some of your targets. And so then what happens when you have to go? There's only a certain number of plays, a certain amount of footballs that go around for the team. You got running plays, right? You got gadget plays. You got the 20-something pass plays that go on in the team. You got Theo Johnson's going to be there now. Dane Bellinger. You're going to have Singletary catching the ball out of the backfield. Probably that kid, the Tracy kid, catching the ball.
You got Tracy Jr.
You got Hyatt. You got Wandale Robinson. You have
Iceford Wheaton is going to probably get
Nabers,
some snaps.
right?
Not
you
that much, but maybe some.
You might even have McKenzie in there. Like, there's going to be so many guys rotating in and out that a fourth receiver, yes, good. I like to have you as a fourth receiver, but if you're going to go hold out, bro, I'm not worried about you. I can get you 3 touchdowns somewhere else. All right, bro? 3 touchdowns somewhere else. Yeah, like 700 yards doesn't mean nothing. How many games we win with this guy? Every time that guy's been on the field, we've been a loser. We haven't done anything. There's no coincidence that we haven't done anything. Now we want to promote this guy and keep.
That's what I was tripping. It's like when when other teams have people that hold out. It's like big time players, right? Like players that fucking Chris Jones is holding out. Right. Chris Jones is holding out, and he's
Barkley's holding out.
Barkley's holding, and a big time, and then you get the Giants are like Slayton is holding out. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is dysfunctional organization? Wow,
the first round pick. The first round pick doesn't know the name of the quarterback. The fourth receiver wants to hold out. I mean, what do we do? Half the fan base thinks we're going to be fucking shitty. You know what I mean? Like this is
it's like half the fan base thinks we're going to be shitty, and then half the fan base thinks we're going to make the playoffs.
No. The other half of the fan base, like me, or at least maybe it's me, put high expectations on, knowing that they probably won't make it because in reality, somebody needs to get fired because of the stupidity to which it is. Like the thing that I worry about the most, and I have a bad feeling we may be closer to this than I believe, is this team bottoms out. Now, if this team bottoms out, which I'm hoping they do, because that means they'll get a quarterback. But I don't see a lot of wins on here. You talk about a defense, right? Everyone talks about that. Wink Martindale's defense is good because it's opportunistic and it blitz. They got turnovers. The Tennessee Titans defense was not necessarily a great turnover machine. They were middle of the road defense. They had one.
I'm just happy we're not going to be blitzing as much.
But, well, right. They are decent. They were a decent red zone team. And they were okay on third. They were very good in the red zone, but everything else they were like mid on everything, right? Which is good. In the red zone, you don't want people to score. I think that's fine. Totally fine. But we don't have a guy next to Dexter Lawrence. People are going to run heavy on us. And I think you're going to see what happened last year, but I don't know if it's going to be as opportunistic because this guy likes to do with the front four, which is fine. But that might mean we give up yards. So then what happens is you're bringing guys up. Then you got receiver core all over the place, and we're going to have decent quarterbacks playing against us. It's not like we'll see Gardner Minshew's, but we're going to see Anthony Richardson. We're going to see J.J. McCarthy. We're going to see Lamar Jackson. We're going to see Russell Wilson. We're going to see Joe Burrow.
Honestly, dude, this is what's gonna happen. I tell you how it's gonna play out. Like, and I'm not no genius, but here's the thing. You know what I'm saying? I say the team's healthy. Say the team's healthy the whole fucking season. All right.
His exit plan is to play this year.
like here's the thing, guys. Like the team's healthy the whole season. Daniel Jones is the starter the whole season. Our defense is out there. Like I see teams not being able to win on us. I see our one defense being really good. I see even our edge one defense being really good. Up the middle and the edges, I see us sealing that off. I see us over the top being our cornerbacks being able to even if playing press, being able to make it up with speed. I truly believe that good teams and great and maybe great teams for sure, but and maybe some good teams are going to be able to dink and dunk, but also pass over the middle on us and move the football. You're going to see 15 to 20-yard gains, and you're going to see them move the football up the field against this defense. This defense gets to the red zone, and that's where the gamble begins. That's where this defense has to show up in the red zone. Either we show up in the red zone or we don't show up in the red zone.
Well, that's what I think is going to happen.
I can honestly see this defense giving up a lot of yards. Like the teams are, like a team like Buffalo, or maybe even a team like the Chiefs is going to move the ball up and down on us. Up in Dallas, move the ball up and down on us. It's going to happen. We might get a few stops. We might get a big sack, maybe we might even get an interception here or there. But majority of our games with this defense is teams are going to move the ball on us, and we're going to hold up in the red zone. Then when it comes to offense, we are going to score touchdowns with Malik Nabers. We're going to score touchdowns with our tight ends. We're going to score touchdowns with our running back. But the question is, can we score enough touchdowns? Exactly. Can we go out there with an explosive offense like Atlanta Falcons?
Do you think Daniel Jones throw 40 times a game?
Yeah, like exactly. Like can Atlanta Falcons and the New York Giants. Atlanta Falcons will be able to go out there and keep on stacking points on the board. Keep on stacking points. Minnesota Vikings with a rookie quarterback will go out there, keep on stacking points. You bet you the Caleb Williams and the Bears fucking stacking points. The Caleb Williams is not gonna they're gonna talk Caleb Williams in some games if they are up. Hey, Caleb, we're up by 2 touchdowns. Like fuck that, I'm throwing the football. Like he's not gonna. He wants to throw. Caleb Williams wants to throw. He doesn't care. They're gonna stack points on us. So the difference is the Bears have a solid defense, a top 5 defense that can put in the work. The Vikings have a pretty decent defense. Yes, we have a great up front, guys. We have good up front, but I'm concerned about the middle, guys. I really am, and I don't see how fans see this team as being like we have Malik Nabers, so now we can go out there and we can beat all these teams I just mentioned. And that's not the case. As good as Malik Nabers is, like this team needs way more better help. And I'm not knocking the organization. I'm not trying to sit up here and be salty. The reason why I wanted a quarterback is I wanted to get the most hardest position to nail out of the way, guys, so we don't have to think about it. That's what I really wanted.
And if we're going to lose the season anyways, you'd have a chance for him to develop. Anyway,
we have a chance to develop him in the NFL for a full year. Then when you go into the offseason next year, we can take the stud of Ohio State or the stud from Ole Miss, or we can trade for Ayuk or trade for T. Higgins or pick up a CeeDee Lamb. I don't know if he's going to get paid by Dallas. But point being, it's like now we put ourselves in the situation that we're going to go and we're gonna say we compete, say we finish in the top like 15th draft picks, and now we're gonna go out there and yes, I get it. There's gonna be a lot of quarterbacks coming up. You know what I'm saying? The Georgia's quarterback, Carson Beck, I believe his name is. I could have that wrong. Or we have obviously Sanders and Quinn Ewers, which you heard me talk about. We have Jalen Monroe out of Alabama. Let's see if he comes out. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of other quarterbacks I'm missing too. So right now, some of these quarterbacks are gonna have great seasons, and it is gonna be pretty good next year. Like better than I obviously thought it was at first. But then we have to compete. Like look how much it would have cost us from going from 6 to 3. Now what if we have to move up from fucking 17? What if we have to now move up from fucking 15? You know what I'm saying? You know what's going to happen? We're not going to be able to move up. So what's going to happen is, let's just ride out Daniel Jones' contract and make people like me and Adam go fucking insane. You know what I'm saying?
Stop
Adam's
it.
going to be
Stop
checking into a mental institution. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to do that. I just won't be buying their gear anymore. If you're going to make bad business decision after business decision after business decision. Look,
I hope we get a quarterback next year. I hope, but
bottom line, well, no. If the only way we get a quarterback, and this is what I'll do to finish up, and then we can kind of wrap the show, is this: I put that expectation on them because it's one that needs to be talked about. Because you draft Malik Nabers, you're trying to win, in my eyes. So go out there and win. And if people think that I'm crazy, well, you know what? Go out there and win. And if I'm proven right, then guess what? Then I get the egg on my face because not only does Daniel Jones do what everybody says, but then I look right because I picked him to go to the NFC Championship game. But to me, anything less than that should be an atrocity because this team's trajectory, you tried to rip the Band-Aid off. You didn't rip the Band-Aid off. You didn't decide to go quarterback. You passed on 3 guys who you better hope are not better than your quarterback when you're sitting there and it's all said and done. If Minnesota, Denver, or Atlanta, well, not necessarily Atlanta, but at least Denver, Minnesota, if they're fighting for a wild card and we're out of it by October, they'll be hell to pay. And that's all I have to say about that. I'm done talking about this team.
Yeah, what I'm going to say is Nabers and Burns. Next one, no man's absolutely. And I'm going to say this too. It's like Daniel Jones, you have a wide receiver. You apparently have an O-line. All right? I don't want to hear no fucking excuses no more. All you Daniel Jones dick suckers, he better have a way better year. I mean, his numbers better not even come close to Bo Nix. If Bo Nix puts up 3,500, Daniel Jones better get 4,900. Because go look what Denver has on wide receiver. And Daniel Jones has fucking Malik Nabers. So Daniel Jones better go out there and fucking have a year. Go throw for 40 fucking touchdowns. I don't even think he gets to 35.
He signed free agents.
Daniel Jones, dick suckers, watch him now. Watch Daniel Jones compete now. Oh, come on, guys. I had fucking 6 fucking years to watch Daniel Jones. I don't need a wide receiver to tell you how Daniel Jones is going to play. All of a sudden, a wide receiver is going to make fucking Daniel Jones look like a top 5 fucking quarterback. You out of your damn mind.
They have one more year on the contract.
The only reason why people take him in fantasy is because of his legs. That's the only reason why he's getting picked up on DraftKings. Plus, his salary is cheap. But in year-long, you don't see Daniel Jones. And trust me, in year-long fantasy, I don't see people drafting Daniel Jones. You know who's going? Malik fucking Nabers is going. But I don't see Daniel Jones is going. And O-line additions, absolutely. But that being said, guys, we are probably going to wrap it up here. I am now officially Malik Nabers made Jaden Daniels luck chapter vote. And so it's only Ryan Thomas, absolutely deception. Malik Nabers absolutely did, and you know, shout out to Jaden Daniels though, he did have absolutely.
Well, he also had Brian Thomas as well. So
yeah, I will say this though, I am now officially give my stamp. I'm a 15% Chicago Bears fan now, so clap for me. Thank you. Yes, I am going to give my 15% of my stock in the Giants to the Chicago Bears because I do think that Caleb Williams is going to work wonders with this franchise.
Well, then I'm going to go 15% the Bengals.
You're going to give it
because that was my second team growing up, anyways. Okay. So I'm going to start to say go to the Houday Nation because
Houday Nation.
You know, I don't want to see Daniel Jones anymore. Like that's what Daniel Jones does to this team. Oh, no. We want to move away from this fan. Like if they're literally legitimately a bad team.
I hope Bears get more primetime games than fucking the Giants. I pray that happens.
Look, man, we're standing our ground. We're standing our ground, bro.
Bears football's gonna be so fun to watch this season.
Why am I gonna sit here and argue about Daniel Jones when we know we need a quarterback and slog through this? I slogged through the Dave Brown era, the Kent Graham era, the Danny Cannell era. I know what a bad quarterback looks like.
I'm still gonna lock my hat, but
I know what it is. And if they want to do dumb shit, then that's what it is.
Man, it's gonna be so fun watching Chicago, though. Like,
it's gonna be so fun.
Not even mentioning Swift, too. Check it out, dude. Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I'll definitely be keeping a keen eye on CJ Stroud too, and how they're doing down in Texans.
Boy,
because listen, man, you don't get it. My loyalty, my fabric of me is the New York Giants, but I'm tired of defending.
Yeah, Adam really breeds shit, sleeps, dreams,
and I'm tired of
everything Giants.
And I'm tired of thinking about my quarterback sucking. I'm tired of my GM making the same moves as the other.
Your quarterback doesn't suck. Joe Burrow is awesome, Adam. What are you talking about? He's amazing.
You know, and it just makes it one of those things.
You're not traders.
So be it then. So
I'll give
be
that
it.
15% back. I'll give that 15% back when we get a quarterback. Daniel Jones, you want Daniel Jones? I'll make you a bet.
You guys like watching Daniel Jones? That's you, man. Like that's
you
not
want
me.
15% back? I'll give you that 15% back and 4,000 yards. 4,000 yards and pass for 20 touchdowns. I'll give you 20. If you can make it over 15, I'll give you that 15% back.
I'm gonna slog there with you, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit there and worry about my Sundays if my quarterback stinks. Like if we're out of it by October, I'm not gonna just sit there and be like,
of course, I'm gonna watch Giants.
If DJ is my captain, I'm going down with the ship. All lives lost. Man, you can be part of that. You can be the Titanic. You can play the band. You can play the violin all the way down to your sinking death. I'm jumping on the lifeboat. And I
might want to have kids someday. And I'm just saying, man, like.
My kids, what am I going to say? What am I going to say to my kids? Hey, you want to watch Daniel Jones? Yeah, or do you want to go watch, because we live in Eagle country, do you want to go watch a winning ball club? You know, do you want to watch a winning ball club? Like, Daddy, can we go see the Philadelphia Eagles play because they win? You know, my wife, who's not a football fan like me, knows Daniel Jones sucks. Knows Daniel Jones sucks. She knows Daniel Jones is trash, and she hasn't watched football.
Daniel Jones fucking did a video at a store. Remember, nobody even recognized him.
Dude, he wasn't. They were like, oh, they're like, are you Giant fans? They weren't even Giant fans.
No, we're just having fun. We're just trolling you, Daniel. Man. Well, honestly, we're Giants fans to the bitter end. This team can go 0-17. I'll still be a fan. I'll still wake up.
Yeah, they're 0-17 without Daniel Jones. You're damn right I'll be a fan.
Giants for life, you know what I'm saying? But Bears Nation is coming alive a little bit too.
I'm not rooting for Daniel Jones. I'm just letting everyone know.
You got the Bengals to watch. I got the Bears to watch. We obviously want the Giants to succeed.
Drew Lock, baby.
But it's I'm gonna
lock it in.
Obviously.
Lock it in, Drew Lock.
You know what's gonna be tough though? What if the Giants and the Bears play at the same time? Fuck.
You're gonna have to put two TV screens, man. We lost to Daniel Jones.
Oh man.
Oh my God. I tell you, man, if they don't oh God.
I know, I honestly
Vegas has us at like 5 wins, right? They had us at like over under 6 last year. They hit the nail on the head, right? Where they have us at 5 this year.
I'm gonna take the under.
On that note, I'm out.
Oh yeah. I might need to see a doctor because I'm bleeding a blue baby. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trolling, guys. If y'all don't know, I am a fan of SC. That is my college team. I am definitely gonna keep a close eye on Caleb Williams.
Well, that's your Bear color. It's a good look on your deception.
But I will say this. I mean, like, call me biased, but dude, Caleb Williams is gonna duel with Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, why not?
We're gonna get that one day, and it's gonna be
awesome. When are we gonna get that? Because right now I have to watch Daniel Jones, and people are getting mad that I want to go observe other good quarterbacks. Wait, hold on. Sorry,
I say Caleb Williams wins more games than Daniel Jones this year.
Oh,
yeah, I do say that.
I think if he does well, he'll win the Rookie of the Year. But we've gone off a tangent. We've had too much fun. That's the time of night it is.
You like what I said there, right? Win more games than Daniel Jones. Because we don't know how much games Drew Lock is playing. I didn't say the Giants. I said Daniel Jones.
How many games Drew Lock is playing? He's got to say. Drew, here's the funny part. Drew Lock has
the light prediction.
Drew Lock
Nothing's bold about that one.
Listen, I'll say this: all you Drew Lock fans out there, that's me. He has a $3 million, bonus in his contract. Exactly. So I want him to get his money. I'm a charitable person. I want Drew Lock to get his $3 million, to get an $8 million contract. Here we go, Drew Lock. He's my quarterback. I'll be rooting for him hard. If Daniel Jones sucks, I will be the first one to tell you, pull the plug and let's go. It's going to be a tough season. It's going to be one of those seasons where if we don't go out to a hot start, good night, the Lions. And I will enjoy other quarterbacks, people. You can't stop me.
Well, we definitely have to beat our story from last year, and that is not that hard. We're at 0-40 week 1. That being said, that's gonna do it, guys. Throw your furs up for your man Jeffy. You know, obviously, I think Mac is taking a nap tonight. I don't know where the fuck he's at.
I don't know where
Hopefully
he's
all
at.
good, but,
Hopefully he's all good though.
Shout out to Jeffy. Shout out to all you guys. You know, Deception.
May the fourth be with you.
Alex, all of you guys holding it down. Raphael stopped in. Daniel stopped in for a little bit as well. May the fourth be with you guys. What is going on? I think we have a Disney Plus show coming up soon on the world of Star Wars, and then we have a new open world video game. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if you have any movie plan, and if you are, it's probably gonna be the next show might be Accolade, and that's gonna be post 200 years before the it's gonna be before the Old Republic.
Well,
so absolutely.
I just need the Darth Vader film to come out. That's all I need, and I'll be out. But anyways, listen, people, may the fourth be with you. 9 a.m. It's on like Donkey Kong, episode 1, Phantom Menace, College Boy.
Let's get it. Trying to find our intro here, our outro. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for joining up. Bless up. I'm on the intro because it's so awesome, and then I want the outro. But you guys have a good one. Let's get it.